Amazing. So, hey guys, I'm here with Jay, one of the founders at City Clinics. Hello, first of all, Jay. We were just talking about how busy and manic life and work is at the moment, right?
Yes, yeah.
So, Jay, I wanted to take this opportunity. I know that we work together, as in our team and your team, as in Pearl Lemon with City Clinics. And today I just really wanted to ask you a couple of questions. I guess to begin with, I know, of course, that you're growing City Clinics as a brand in general, of course, and I wanted to hear from you as to what was the journey that led you to finding Pearl Lemon in the first place, and that led you to determining that, well, you know what, I'm looking at some potential agencies I could work with to support our growth. Well, how was it that you found Pearl Lemon? I guess in the
It was
first instance, yeah.
through, yeah, it was just mainly through online search.
Okay.
So Google search engine. I've looked at a few. Initially, I was supposed to go with a company who reached out to me for the last couple of years,
Yeah.
but then I felt like Polemon had leverage over them because in terms of lead generation, there was really good results online and good reviews as well. So
Okay.
and
Okay.
find that your sales consultant Ian was very helpful in putting together a call, etc. So yeah, I feel like you guys have a really good team. So from then onwards, I decided to just go ahead with Poleman instead of the other company.
And in terms of that journey when you began searching, just was there, for example, a specific term that you used when you were searching? Like, if you could describe your search process a little bit in general, it'd be
Yeah,
quite useful.
I think if I remember correctly, I would have used keywords like medical SEO or something like that,
Okay.
or lead generation, etc. I can't remember. It was a while ago.
Okay.
So
It's
yeah.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. And I guess as you've just described, naturally we're in a market like yours that's competitive. There's a lot of providers that offer or claim to offer SEO, medical SEO, or lead generation. Were there particular things when you were Googling, I guess, before you spoke to Eon, before you engaged with any of us, before you even sent that email, that made you decide that, okay, this is going to be one of the companies on my shortlist that I'm going to approach just to see what kind of response I get back?
Yeah, probably your ranking. I feel like you guys have a strong presence on Google, and you know, if that reflects on your own work, then I was sure that that would reciprocate in terms of City Clinics as well. So, which is why when I saw your rankings on Google, I was reassured with confidence that you guys must be doing something correct
Touch wood.
for you to be ranked
Yeah, yeah,
quite high on Google. So yeah, that's what I
understood.
would say were my initial thoughts.
And then in terms of, as you just described, the let's call it the consultative stage, or the pre kickoff stage. I know that Eon was the our managing director, was the person who I guess introduced you to Pearl Lemon, supported you throughout the campaign. How was that from an account management experience working
Yeah,
with
I'd
Eon
say
and the team?
yeah, his customer relationship was very, very good. He took on all the needs of the company that we were trying to achieve. Once everyone's been very helpful, and also not really in a pushy sales environment. So he more than securing the sale, it was more about the service that we were going to have in the long run,
Yeah.
that he was mainly interested in. So yeah, I felt like Ian was very helpful, and he provided answers to all the questions that I had initially, which set him apart from other competitors who we looked at who just wanted to simply just close the deal and
Yeah.
move forward.
Understood, understood, understood. And talking about that, actually, I'm curious to know, like, our business is search engine optimization. Your business is growing the business of City Clinics, of course. What was the experience like of actually engaging and working with Pearl Lemon? So now we're talking about, okay, cool. The contracts have been signed. We've kicked off the campaign. Now it's about the work, of course. What was that like
Yeah,
for you?
I feel like Paul Lemon has quite an extensive team, and in every sector, from just producing reports to putting all the keywords together, etc. They liaised very closely with ourselves, so there was a lot of involvement from both parties as to what we were trying to achieve and optimize, and how it is that they were going to, like Poleman were going to deliver that on their end. So there was a lot of communication from both parties. I feel like you guys have a really good structure in place as well. And if I did want to reach out to anybody, I can reach out to you all pretty easily. In terms of just booking in a call and just having a chat. So I feel like not many companies do offer that. Often you're going to have to ring and leave a message, wait for someone to call you back. So whereas this is, everyone's pretty responsive. So, and for me, where time's of the essence for us, I need somebody on the other end who, when I call, I expect them to answer, right? So I feel like Poleman definitely did offer that, and you've got a really good team, and who produces all these reports month's end report for SEO and your key findings, etc. So I feel like in terms of value for money as well, even though from our early stages, they've identified a lot of areas where we can improve on from an audit point of view as well, which I found really helpful. And there was no charge added to that. So that was a free of charge exercise, which was provided by Poleman. So I think a lot of startup companies could really utilize a service like that to identify their key weaknesses to improve on those.
And that's actually something that I wanted to ask about. That one of the dangers, I guess, in terms of working with a provider that I guess looks, for all intensive purposes, impressive on the outside, it feels like there was follow through in terms of, okay, great, I found you guys online. You're ranking for terms that are relevant to my interests, which tells me that you practice what you preach as far as I can see. I've reached out to build up some dialogue, have a call. I'm not a SEO expert myself, which is why I'm looking for a relevant vendor. In the background, I'm also in conversations with someone who's I've been in dialogue with for a couple of years or for a long while. The initial conversation has been productive. It's gone well. Eon's made you feel comfortable. You had the audit that was part of probably the early stages of the engagement. I remember it actually.
Yeah.
Is your feeling that then, the several months we've been working together, was it, I guess I'm asking, was it as impressive, or was it as effective as the sales experience was, in terms of, all of the things that you got access to, and communication and results as well, in terms of outcomes?
In terms of resources, I feel like, yes, results is something that I have to be very honest and open to you, Deepak. I believe that results, how do you quantify time, right? So for different businesses, they may attain results a lot quicker than ourselves. I feel like for us, our impression started to go significantly higher than what it was. However, from a Google Analytics point of view, in terms of leads conversions, we haven't had anything. So I feel like also it's probably too soon for me to speak about this at this stage, because first 3 months into the project, I don't feel like we, in terms of physical results, ROI, I don't believe
it's not there.
that.
It's not there.
It's not there, exactly.
Yeah, no, and to be honest with you, sorry, go ahead.
But the resources, we were provided with a lot of resources and time and resources from your end. So I think that in the long run, that's something that, yes, I'm hopeful that we could achieve a lot better results. Rather.
Absolutely. I mean, I will say to that point, and this is not something I'd even bother editing out of the video, because it's good that you've raised that, because that's obviously a burning question that anyone who's watching this will have, and just in general, like, we did SEO with you from a standing start. I think it does require, not I think, typically in 90+% of cases, unless you're an in-house SEO team, and it's, do you know what I mean? Like, as in, when I say unless you're putting you need, from a standing start, it typically needs 6 months or more. In your space, I would say, or more, because you're going against companies in the medical transformation space that put a lot of marketing dollars into different buckets, if you will, whatever those buckets are.
Yeah.
So I would absolutely advocate, and you've probably seen this reflected in companies that you have spoken to, that what tends to happen in the first couple of months is that you see impressions grow because the amount of keywords that Google recognizes you for increases. So you have effectively more keywords on page 10, page 9, page 3, page 20 than you ever did before. But the traffic and the leads only starts coming once some of those keywords hit page 1. And
Sure.
the page 1 can't come before the page 10, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that process is just a matter of time. So definitely, I'd say that we hope at some point in the future, SEO is of course a slower burner, let's say, than calling someone or stopping someone in the street or running an ad campaign. But when that time comes that you want to get inbound inquiries, I would love for you to come back and continue with Pearl Lemon, because it's how we built our business. And the quality, it takes time to get there because we've been through a similar journey ourselves. When I say similar journey ourselves, so we're 5 to 6 years old, but the first 2 years of our business, we conducted a lot of outbound activities because that was the nature of what we needed to do. We were doing SEO as well, don't get me wrong, but I can tell you today, and it's not that it took 5, 6 years, but I can tell you today, it took probably 18 to 24 months for us in the end. We don't do anything other than organic search because the return on investment is so much higher, if that makes sense. Yeah. Which is what I'd love to. Yeah.
For a small startup company like City Clinics was founded in 2019, so in the recent 3 years, for us, without having any form of ROI from,
of course,
investment, it's difficult for companies to set a high budget for us to maintain if we are not gaining anything in return.
No.
I think obviously in the long run, it would definitely pay off, but for the interim period, it's quite difficult to manage with your overheads.
Yeah, of course. I completely understand, and I would say in general that it's good that you've got the foundation there.
Yeah.
Now that you're going to continue and buckle down, like spend. The one thing I would advocate you guys to do, irrespective, is if you can produce 10,000 words a month for yourself, I promise you it will help. If you need any quick insights on how to make those 10,000 words effective, just come to us, and Eon and I will give you some advice, and you'll be able to see the metrics improve and increase. So I'm happy to produce basically a content calendar for you that if you can follow, it will help you, because we would have asked you for content anyway. And as you know, Google loves content. So that's just one thing that is something you can definitely take in-house. So, I would definitely say continue with that because it's going to pay dividends down the line.
All right, that would be amazing. Yes, I would definitely be inclined to doing that if you and Ian can support us.
Absolutely. Why don't we? I'll put an email across to you and me and Eon. I'll have a review of the keywords that we're targeting, and let's just continue on email. We'll get something together for you on the basis of you being able to produce 5 to 10,000 words a month, whoever that asset may be. But we can help direct that for sure, and we can check in even once every couple of weeks, just if you say, look, we've got a couple of blogs live, any quick insights, and I'll pretty easily, I think, be able to demonstrate to you, Jay, look, this is why what you're doing yourself is working, which will set you up in the future, whether you go with someone else, whether you go with us. I just want your business to do well, but it will set you up nicely in the future when you're like, right, I want to reinvest some more money in this space again. And you'll be in a much stronger position. I mean, you're already in a better position than you were, but you'll be in a much stronger position. So if that works for you, we can do that together.
Sure. Yeah, that would be really helpful. As I said, I think that I've appointed Pearl Lemon. This is what I said to Eon. I've appointed Pearl Lemon at a critical time for City Clinics, where this move was something that we factored in for the last 3 years. it's finally all coming together.
Good.
So I'm currently in the space right now as we speak. So because of construction works and I've surpassed my budget from what we had anticipated. So that's mainly the reason why I feel like I would put a hold on this initially, and then by February, hopefully, we should be in a stronger position to return to Pro Lemon.
Yeah, listen, I completely get it. I understand. It's normal. There's no pressure from our side. I just want to see you guys do well anyway, just because I think you're a stand-up guy as well, separate to the business. It's like, oh, Jay's quite a nice guy. I'd like to see, you know, him do well using the small skills that we have that can contribute towards your business. So listen, that in terms of the interview was fantastic. Thank you for your time, Jay. Really, really appreciate it.
Likewise.